of fate.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me when you'll love this.
Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my good friend / my co-host in person this time, Devin. And today we're here to break down and give our insights on Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Before we move any further, since we are recording this in person, Devin's literally sitting right across the table
live
from me.
in person.
Not
live, but in person.
Exactly. So forgive the echo. We're trying to just work with what we have. It may not be the best, highest quality that I usually try to push out to our listeners, but forgive us if it sounds a little echoey in the living room area that we're in, but we're going to try our best for you guys all together. But as I mentioned before, today we are going to be covering Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. This will be streaming on Netflix on December 23rd, but we were able to see it a few weeks early. So we're going to give our spoiler-free thoughts for you guys of the movie altogether. We're just going to give our initial reactions. We don't want to give anything away because, man, is it good. We want to keep the surprises, a secret for when people watch this on Netflix. But if you're lucky enough to actually watch this the week of Thanksgiving, like Thanksgiving week, they are showing it in select theaters, or Netflix is showing or screening Glass Onion.
They struck a deal. It's the first time that a Netflix movie is being screened in the three major chains, all of them.
Really? Oh, between
Cinemark, AMC, and Regal.
Oh, okay.
That's how big of a deal this movie is. They get all three of the big boys.
That's pretty awesome. I like that a lot because it really shows that the first Knives Out movie was, I believe the studio was Lionsgate, and then Rian Johnson kind of made his way over to Netflix and said, "Hey, let's get into bed together and strike a deal." So that is what they did. But before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter at FilmOptix, or you can email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie-related questions. Devin, how's your turkey week been? We're recording here today, the day before Thanksgiving. I'm very excited for Thanksgiving this year. I don't know, but how's your week been?
I've been preparing for a feast tomorrow. I've been kind of eating like a rabbit the past couple of days, just salads for dinner, just keeping it light. Gotta watch the figure and then just go all in tomorrow and regret all of it immediately when you have that post-turkey nap during the bad football games and life just kind of floats away.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. My week's been pretty nice. I was able to come home this week from good old Music City. Been seeing a lot of family and friends, some unexpected faces that I've kind of ran into during my time here. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And, we were able to finally, see a movie together since, God, it seems like forever because, we live in two different states, so we don't really get to do this often. But, we're here today, and that's all that matters. This nice little round of applause for us both. Very, very excited to, be here today. But yeah, it's been a very chill week and a little bit of running around altogether, but it is what it is. I'm excited for Turkey Day myself. I've been kind of fasting a little bit, but I'm just ready to dig into some good food. I don't want to eat like too much. I gotta
you will.
Everyone
does.
I probably will, but man, I'm going to go back to Nashville like 10 pounds heavier, but you know what? It's fine because it's Thanksgiving. But with all that out of the way, well, have you been watching anything new besides Glass Onion? I believe you said you were watching, you tried out Blockbuster, the new Blockbuster
Yeah, I wasn't
series.
feeling that one. I finished Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That was a good one. My small, minor, tiny anime experiences, but it was pretty good. And then I started Chippendales last night. That's pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah. I sent you the seal of approval for Arcane because Henry Cavill loves Arcane. I sent him a nice little Instagram reel. I sent Devin one the other day. I was like, hey, if you need any seal of approval on this show, Henry Cavill is the man to go to. And he absolutely loved it. But
I'm also kind of loving this very random streak we're on with mystery movies surrounding food. We got The Menu and now Glass Onion.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird 1-2 punch, but it's very effective.
It is.
Both are pretty great.
And just overall, we've had like a few mystery movies this year. I mean, in the horror genre, we had like Bodies. We recorded covered Enola Holmes 2, which you can find on all major podcast platforms. So, and yeah, this and The Menu, it's been a really fun little mystery. I just love it.
The food mystery subgenre is growing before our eyes.
It really is. I'm hoping it becomes more of a thing because I'm here for it, like all together. It's going to be amazing. But with all that said, Devin, are you ready to dive into this review?
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion. It makes no damn sense.
Imbecile.
Oh man, I was watching the first Glass Onion, the first Knives Out movie before this, not for like preparation. I just really enjoy that movie. And it's like a perfect Thanksgiving movie. And this coming out Thanksgiving week as well, it's just nowadays, I mean, Rian Johnson, anytime there is a a Knives Out like mystery movie, it has to come out during Thanksgiving now because the first one was just like, it had all the fall vibes and just everything Thanksgiving. I absolutely loved it. So without further ado, we'll be right back after this introduction to Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
I've invited you all to my island.
Hi.
Because tonight, a murder will be committed. My murder.
Once you're dead, will we still be able to talk to you?
Yeah, I'm not playing dead the whole weekend, dude.
This is truly delightful.
Across the island, I've hidden clues. You will have to closely observe each other. If anyone can name the killer, that person wins our game. Any questions?
Halle Berry, that has a kick.
Oh my God. What happened? Holy
And we're back with our Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. And the story is as follows. This is taken straight from IMDb. I'm not sure if there is a full-fledged synopsis out there as of yet, but as of right now, this is like the closest that we can find, with the runtime of this movie being 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It just flew by.
It did. It was crazy. I was like, it felt like 2 hours to me. Like you were so, it's just enthralled and like synced into the story. I just didn't realize how much time it passed. And the story is as follows. Famed Southern detective Benoit Blanc travels to Greece for his latest case. And that's all we're going to say, because that is the premise of the entire movie, the entire film. And it just goes from there. So this is written and directed by Rian Johnson, the man himself, Rian with an I, not Ryan with a Y, and stars Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, oh my gosh, Dave Bautista. The cast here is just as good.
Janelle Monáe, Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick.
It's
and then a
insane.
couple surprise ones here and there that were not expected.
Yeah, and I believe for Madeline Klein as well, she plays the role of Whiskey. Looking at her filmography, she's kind of been in a few
She was in
things.
Stranger Things, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure. She played Tina 2 episodes. So that was season 4. It was chapter 7, the massacre at Hawkins' lab, and then episode 4 is not chapter 4. Episode 7 for massacre at Hawkins' lab, and then chapter 4 or episode 4, Dear Billy. So I definitely have to go back and rewatch that and see if I can catch her there. But yeah, she was great as well. But I want to pass it over to Devin so we can give his initial thoughts. Again, like I said before, this is completely just spoiler free. We're not going to be getting into spoilers for you guys because there's a lot of great surprises in this movie, a lot of great references, and we just want people to experience the way that we did. So Devin, what are your thoughts on Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery?
I guess we can start there with that title because going into this movie, we just kept talking about how terrible of a title that is. We were just like trashing on it, like it just sounds so weird, a glass onion. But then it's the title that grows on you because you watch the movie and then it kind of makes sense. The more they talk about this glass onion, it is a real physical thing. It just kind of grows on you and the title just becomes part of the movie. And I love that. The cast is insane. It's the same thing for the first one where it's just an endless list of names that all put on just amazingly fun performances. Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc is, I'd say, a perfect character. Like overall, just you can see how much fun he's having with that accent, and he's just such a vibe. Like all his outfits, his cigars, just all of it. You just want to go out and have a drink with this guy.
Yeah,
just so cool. Then the rest of the cast is great. Edward Norton, Kate Hudson. It's good to have her back. What's the last thing she was in? I was trying to figure that out. It's been a long time. It feels like
it has been a very, very long time.
I'm looking right now. Nothing that I recognize. Going deeper and deeper. She was in Kung Fu Panda. That's interesting.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
She was in Mother's Day. That was 2016.
Mother's Day 2016. Oh, I was thinking of...
That's that series of movies that's based around the holidays. Different holidays. Like there's a Valentine's Day. There's a New Year's Eve.
So they're trying to do what Halloween originally was intended to do.
They're like weird rom-coms.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been a while since I've seen her. It's nice to have her back on the screen. She's always great. And she definitely had some fun with this one. Definitely a fun role for her to just kind of be the fun party girl.
Yeah. As for me, for my initial reactions, I think it's just as enjoyable as the first Knives Out movie. Like it's clever, it's witty, it's sharp writing, and there's so many layers within all of these characters. You know, they start to peel back certain characteristics and certain motives of these 7 individuals, and you come back to watch a great mystery, and of course, Daniel Craig is there returning as Benoit Blanc, and he owns it as always. But I do have to give a lot of credit to Janelle Monáe because
I forgot to mention she was great. I've not seen her in much stuff, but I think she is great in this, and I hope to see her more.
Yeah, and honestly, not even to mention the score, the editing, just the production design of everything that's been happening or happens in this movie. It's very captivating, and us being able to watch it on the big screen, and it just made it all the better. Just watching it on a what is it that they say at AMC is like dazzling images on a silver screen, stories that you can feel. But no, it was so, I loved it. Like I just want to watch it again because there's so much that happens in this movie. Like we said, the hour runtime or the runtime altogether is like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's like, it doesn't feel like it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's so well paced, much like Stranger Things season 4. Like it just blew by. And I was like, this is just so crazy. And I don't want to, sit here and compare like the first one to the second one, but the second movie for Glass Onion, there's so many twists and turns because you think you have it figured out, but then they really just throw in a lot of red herrings. And, there's a reason why it's called Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. There's a reason why they didn't go with the title of Knives Out 2 Glass Onion.
I was going to mention that. It's really not a sequel at all. I think we can say that without spoiling anything. But
right.
You can go into this without ever seeing the first Knives Out, and you would not be missing anything other than just the fact that Benoit Blanc is an established detective in that world.
Yeah.
He's their Sherlock Holmes, basically, but it's really not a sequel at all. And I think that's kind of an interesting way of building out a world where you can have different stories in different parts of the world with different characters, and they don't have to necessarily all be connected, like a cinematic universe usually would be. Right.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before. I'm not sure how many other Knives Out movies or films that Rian Johnson plans to make, but I do like the idea.
There is a third in development currently, so we have at least a third one.
A third one. Yeah, I like the idea of just, Benoit Blanc just going around the world and solving these random cases, and them not having to be connected to each other. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean,
speaking of different movies with Daniel Craig playing Benoit Blanc around the world, apparently Rian Johnson had a brief idea of having a running joke where Daniel Craig does a different accent for each film just to mess with people.
That actually would have been pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would have liked that a lot.
It would have thrown us off, but then it would have been pretty funny.
But I mean, it's his.
He kills that accent though. I don't even know how.
When I was watching the first Knives Out the other day again for the fourth or fifth time or whatever, I just loved it. I love mystery films and mystery novels, and it just really keeps you guessing, keeps you on your toes. And Rian Johnson can't stop now, with these ensemble casts, because, these two movies that are out, it's insane. I mean, I understand that, another Knives Out movie is coming out, and there is a part of me that wishes that Glass Onion was more of a just standard theatrical release, but, maybe something happened between Lionsgate and Rian Johnson, and, he went to Netflix, but all in all, I really don't want Netflix to stop theatrical releases, because it was just so much enjoyable watching this type of film in the theater. Normally I'm okay with watching things at home. I mean, I'm definitely going to check this out again, during the holidays. I think it's a perfect movie for everyone to, grab your family and friends and just sit down and watch it and just have a blast with it. But yeah, there's just a part of me that wishes that this was just, a theatrical release. But technically, I guess if you're thinking more on the streaming side, more people are going to have eyes on it. But, maybe do more of a 2-week theatrical release next time. But I mean, a week is nothing. But I think it was perfectly placed during the week of Thanksgiving, because a lot of people do take off during that entire week. People like me, people around the U.S. who are taking off that entire week to go, travel, visit friends and family, and celebrate the holidays. But let's get into our final thoughts and our ratings here for Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. So, Devin, any final thoughts that you had, and what is your rating of this film?
Yeah, I don't want to go too much into it, because it's one of those movies where you just don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Just go in blind. Just know it's going to be very interesting mystery with a lot of twists and a lot of turns, and just amazing characters. That's the best part. Just the characters that these actors get to play. A lot of surprises. Some surprise actors show up. A lot of name drops. It's very much like a popcorn, pop culture type of movie. There's a lot of references. He does a very good job of throwing those in there and not making it too highbrow. He keeps it to where it's pretty relatable for anybody to watch and enjoy. Mm-hmm. He doesn't try to outsmart anyone. You can tell they're down to earth, more type of mysteries. It's not like you have to try to solve everything and figure it all out. He lays it out in a way that he's not trying to outsmart anybody, and I love that about it.
Yeah, it's much and I think that's the reason why even I know this is coming out of left field, but for like Rick and Morty, a lot of people don't watch it because they feel like, oh, they're not going to understand the humor. They're not going to understand, the logic and everything that's happening. But I do agree with you. As far as my final thoughts and my ratings go, I do agree with Devin when it comes to, the mystery solving. It's not highbrow. Like you said, it doesn't make you feel stupid. The movie doesn't pretend to be smarter than what it is, and it's genius. I mean, Rian Johnson is one of my favorite directors, and him being able to write and direct this, like he knows what he's doing when it comes to these types of movies. And it was just a blast. Like Devin said, I don't want to give anything away, but well, I'm sorry. What did you want to give for your score? I totally forgot.
I also wanted to mention, as we were walking out, I kind of said that I think The Social Network would be a good pairing with this movie. Not to spoil anything, but catch kind of the vibe that he felt like he was going for as far as the characters he wrote and how they are represented, which is very funny.
Oh, absolutely.
But as far as score goes, I'd probably go like a 93, just super solid. Not many issues really, because like we mentioned, it kind of just flew by the runtime because of how well paced it was, and there are some good twists and turns that it doesn't feel like they were completely out of left field. They don't feel cheap or anything, and the characters are just great, and the world is just so fun to be in. It
really was. Yeah. It was, just the twists were just terrific, and it's sensational. It's sharp. It's all over the place. But yeah, for me, I think for my rating, I'm just going to go with a solid 95. I don't really have any gripes with it. Like, again, we literally just got out of the theater and are recording this, but the fact that we're talking so highly about it, like it's easily one of my favorite movies of the year. Like I was looking forward to this for so long, and I didn't want to like read or watch anyone's initial reactions because I just wanted to go into it blind. And I'm glad that I did. I mean, I saw people liked it, but I just didn't know anything about it, and I just wanted to be in the dark as much as possible. But yeah, definitely 95 out of 100 for me. There's always room for error, but I mean, it's a really good movie, and I hope everyone's able to, if you're able to catch it in theaters as we are recording this, congratulations. But, if not, just, grab the family during the holiday time, Christmas time. Again, it's coming out December 23rd. So that's another week where people are going to be off. So I think, the placement of this movie being on Netflix that's going to be like the new thing. I think they're going to try to have like a really big movie around the holiday time where people are purposely home for more people to, have their eyes on this film. But yeah, overall, job well done by Rian Johnson, cast and crew. Just an incredible, snappy ensemble. And yeah, it's insane. So with all that said, that concludes our review of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. And if you like what you heard on today's episode, please subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform of choice, and make sure to share an episode of our podcast with a friend, whether it be your mother, your brother, or your significant other. Make sure to share an episode of the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. And really quick, what is coming up, or what is out now, I should say, and what is on the deck for our podcast. Our Black Panther Wakanda Forever review is out for people to listen to, as well as our Causeway review that's available on podcast platforms around the internet. And if you haven't checked out The Menu review, you should definitely go check that out. And I also did a solo Blu-ray review for 3,000 Years of Longing. So those are just a few things that are out on our podcast for people to go listen to. And for what's coming up next, obviously, you just got done listening to this bad boy, but we also have our Willow episodes 1 through 3 spoiler-free review that I was able to cover with Kit Stone. So that was a lot of fun. So definitely check that out, hitting the podcast on November 30th. And we have a slew of like great movies that are coming out. The Violent Nights. We're probably going to do the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special as well. And The Whale. I mean, White Noise, possibly. We just have to see what everything can fit into our schedule. Fablemans. There's a lot of things coming out. We're kind of in the middle of award season here. Maybe some Pinocchio. We'll just have to wait and see. But definitely follow us at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X on Twitter, so you can keep up to date with what's coming out on our podcast. And with all that said, we hope you guys have a great day and a great holiday if you're listening to this around the holidays. And we'll see you guys next time. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoyed the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.